Back at it again with the Langy Buzz. A few new faces to show for you this week. We've still got so many players left to go, but we'll keep our cards, close to our chest. We'll keep the aces up the sleeve for now. But for tonight, we do still have two new players joining you. It's Vojo Milojevic, one of the funnest names to say on commentary and in real life, and Rogan McGeorge. Two new signings, and of course, the head coach, Scott Miller, to preview the game on Saturday against Northcote City. Another week and yet another new face joining us on the Langy Buzz. Rogan McGeorge joining us this time around. Rogan, your first game for the club on the weekend, thrown straight into the starting lineup. Were you daunted?
No, I was excited more than anything. It's good to get the 3 points on the board early doors. I always think that your first game you have to go and win. So it was good at home as well. But yeah, not daunting at all. I was excited more than anything.
Well, I suppose you have had a lot of experience playing football at some decent levels, including earlier in your career. Spent some time at your boyhood club in Cambridge. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I signed there. I was there in the academy as a youngster. Spent a little bit of time away, but rejoined them when I was about 16. Done my scholarship system there for about 2 years on leaving school. But yeah, as you say, it's my boyhood club. Still follow the results now. I've got 2 shirts back at home that I wear all the time. So yeah, it's my boyhood club, and it was good. Always good to play for them. Yeah.
Obviously, you've been in Australia for a while now, but you've grown accustomed to the rigour of watching the team, getting up in the middle of the night. How do you find that transition? Because it is difficult.
Yeah, it's tough. If it's a boring game or we're losing, and I sack it off and I'm straight to bed at half time. But we're doing all right this year, so we're second in the league. We're fighting at the top, so it's been a little bit easier. But yeah, sometimes it can be tough. They're definitely falling asleep on some of them.
And speaking of teams that are doing well, yourself and the team at large did really, really well on the weekend against Manningham. How did you feel you settled into the side? Because you looked awfully comfortable in that midfield.
Yeah, to be fair, the lads here are quality, so I've really settled in well. As soon as I got here, everyone made me feel welcome. As a player, on and off the pitch, knew a few of the lads before I come down, but yeah, I seemed to fit in really well in there, and I was pleased to make sure that I come here and try and get my place in the team. I want to make sure that I'm a fixture in that team now. I want to become important to this team, and like I said before, it was good to get off to a good start. Now it's important that we maintain that.
And are there any other personal goals you're setting for yourself this season other than just locking down a starting spot regularly?
My mum's actually given me one for yellow cards, but apart from that, I'm all right. Just to win as many games as possible, to be honest. I feel like we have a really good team here. It's my first season in the NPL, something that I've been wanting to do for a little while. So, yeah, no real mad goal setting really, just to be in the team, to be important to the team, and to make sure that we're winning as many games as we can and be the right end of the table.
And looking longer term, I understand that you've done a bit of coaching at previous clubs, is that correct?
Yeah, so I coach for Football Star Academy. I'm still doing that now. I love it, enjoy every day that I go to work. So yeah, I'm always keen to get involved in the coaching and the development of the young players, of course, yeah.
And knowing what Scott's good at, knowing his history, was that one of the reasons that you wanted to come down here, that coaching connection?
Yeah, it was a big reason. I obviously looked at Scott's credentials, and it was a big appeal. You always want to go and play for people that have achieved what he has in the game, the places that he's worked. I feel like he understands myself as well, so that was always a help. But yeah, of course, it was a big pull in me coming to this club for sure, yeah.
Well, Rogan, it's glad to hear the reasons why you're here. We are more than glad to have you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Well, a player who took to the field for, albeit a brief amount of time on the weekend, but it was still good to see him, Vojo Milojevic, joining us on the Langy Buzz. Vojo, it wasn't necessarily the start that you wanted, having to come off the field, but how did you find it the first day at Lawton Park?
It was awesome. We started off well, scoring the first 2 minutes, which was good. Got the second one, and then unfortunately the red card set us back a little bit. You just got to restructure and go into defensive mode. And then, came off the park with a bit of an ankle injury, which sucks, but it is what it is.
Well, can you give us a little bit of an update on the situation? Because you were playing so well, you were involved in the goals that we did end up scoring in the first half. How's the body feeling at the moment?
It's feeling okay. It's probably about 90% at the moment. So I'll be a bit cautious today. I took Tuesday off, but did a bit of rehab. So hopefully I'm good for Saturday.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. And, you've come into a defence, starting your first game at the club, or league debut for the club you started. It's a pretty impressive back line. How do you feel about forming that defence with some experienced teammates?
Yeah, it's been really well. Over pre-season, we pretty much kept the same back four, so we've adapted and played well with each other. Definitely a lot of experience in there, and we're looking pretty solid, which is good.
And of course, some people would have seen the game on the weekend, either here or on Langy TV. You can always watch it on the live stream if you can't make it here. But for those who didn't miss or who missed either of those opportunities to watch, what can you tell us about yourself as a player? What can people expect from you as a fullback?
I'll give my all every game. My strengths are probably the strength and speed. I'm more of an attacking fullback, so I've played as a winger previously, so going up to help the boys up front and obviously doing my role at the back too.
Now, one thing that the cameras have missed, but just off to the side, you had Jaden Modafferi annoying you before we got up to this interview. How have you found the culture at the club so far?
Nah, it's been awesome. The boys are good. There's great banter in the change room. We're a close bunch, and that's going to show this season.
And, Jaden does often, we love him, but he does often get a mention in this particular category. Is there anyone who, we've got a lot of pests here. Is there anyone who takes the cake? Is it Jaden, or is it someone else that you want to nominate?
Definitely Jaden and Tommy are up there, the youngsie. Yeah.
Fantastic. And just one final one before we let you go for you, because I was commentating you on the weekend, and Vojo Milojevic, that's correct, right?
Perfect.
Is that the most fun name to say in the world? Like, do you just walk around saying that to yourself occasionally? Because I really enjoyed it.
I was a trouble through primary school and high school for teachers, but people are learning. It's all right.
I can imagine a lot of Australian teachers would have really struggled with that one, speaking from knowledge of other friends and stuff. But we are glad to have you here and glad to be getting your name correct as well for you. Thank you very much for your time and all the best for your recovery. Hopefully we see you on the park on the weekend.
Thanks, mate. Hope so, and bring on season 21.
Well, you know the drill at this point. Scott Miller joining us once again on the Langy Buzz. Scott, a pleasure to have you as always.
Evening, mate. How's your week been?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. It's been busy. A weekend with NPL football, with NPL2 football, especially coming back, is always a good one. I'm sure you feel the same.
I actually heard you. You called a game, didn't you?
I did, yes. Eastern Lions, Dandy Thunder on Sunday.
Yes, not bad. Good job. Very good, very good.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Well, let's get away from the NPL and come back to the NPL2, because we did have a great win on the weekend, a character-building win as we sort of got at on Saturday. You've had a bit more time to reflect about that performance. What do you think are the biggest takeaways from that result?
Character is by far and foremost the best attribute that I saw on the weekend, but if you look at the way we started, the first 30 minutes was very good, and key people maximised opportunities in front of goals, and that's what we spoke about the last couple of weeks. Taking pride in our work and maximising those chances. It's fine creating numerous chances in a game, but there are days you don't take them. But on last Saturday we took them, which is highly pleasing for the coaching staff and the playing group. But I think there's a defining point out of that game is the defensive duties of every single player. And we spoke about Tuesday. We reviewed the game, and the playing group suggested that's one of the best defensive displays they've put together as a team with the players that have been here before, and it really signified for me, one, a connection between the playing group, but also a respect for one another. And it was a case of our backs are against the wall, we need to step up, and it was going to be a defensive mindset, but they did it so well, and we still created chances as well. So it wasn't as if we just sat back deep. We sat back deep with an intention to stop them playing, but when we could, we broke and looked to play as well.
And it was made all the more impressive by the fact that we were able to do it against 10 men, difficult circumstances, and the one thing that I do want to ask you about is the other condition that was losing a few players through injury. Now, we've spoken to Vojo. He seems to be handling his ankle injury pretty well. Can you give us an update on the health of the squad at the moment?
Yeah, listen, it was a dynamic game. When you look how we changed, we had a striker who scored 2 goals, essentially playing right full back, and a centre midfielder finishing at left full back. So I talked about selflessness, and if we're going to be successful this year, players need to understand that it's their role to fill in positions that might be a bit uncomfortable at times, but they did it, and they did it in such a way that was fantastic to watch. Now, playing groups, fine. Everyone's looking fit and ready. We deloaded a few players at the start of the week just to give them extra time to recover. But I keep referring back to competition, and competition's healthy for people with growth mindsets and also wanting to play at a high level. And that's our benefit right now. We've got great depth, which allowed us to make the substitutions at crucial times, and also the key people making an influence. And I just want to mention the substitutions on the weekend was superb as well.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was just about to ask you about. How pleased were you? How proud of the boys who came off the bench were you? You know, how they did their job?
Yeah, I think we've got to be careful. I mean, it's one game and it's their job to represent the club with quality, respect and intensity. So no one gets a pat on the back for working hard in football. It's a not negotiable. However, we did it very well. The expectations now are that becomes consistent, it becomes a not negotiable, and we move forward to this weekend, which is a bigger task again, and they've set the bar high, which is good. So now they've got an internal challenge as a team to maintain that.
Well, let's talk about this weekend, because we do have a familiar foe in Northcote. They had a 3-3 draw at the weekend. What can we expect from this team, who we've played before?
It's going to be a great challenge. I mean, we've got some great teams in the first 4 to 5 rounds. This being one, totally different in terms of how they set up tactically. We're expecting a certain system that we'll prepare for the last couple of nights, and in particular tonight. We'll nail down a few things as well. So we'll be prepared for them tactically. A very good side. They're pushing for promotion. I'd imagine the internal pressure to have success every week is high there as well, and we'll look to stop their momentum.
Something you mentioned as well in that response is the run of games that we've got to start the season. There are some difficult fixtures in that. Is that, as a coach, with a lot of new players coming in, do you prefer to have those, high-profile fixtures up front, or would you have preferred them at a later date? What's your view?
If I'm honest with you, I don't look too far away, and with respect, I actually don't care who we play, and that's with respect. Every team's got quality. The minimum standard at this level is teams have quality. So ultimately, every week you're setting up against a team that can play and can win. So the mentality is we prepare, we focus on ourselves, we look at them in a way and how we can stop them play, but more importantly how we can beat them. So I must reiterate, it's not a disrespect, it's a respect that, listen, I can't control what they're going to do, I can control what we do and prepare our team to the best of our ability.
And overall, the focus is internally, as you say. So to that end, what's the key to 3 points on Saturday?
Key is preparation and an understanding of each other's roles, and for me it's discipline in and out of possession, and if we do that well, we'll come away with a victory. Well,
make sure you're there on Saturday, a big fixture against Northcote City. Scott, thanks very much for your time.
Cheers, mate. See you Saturday. Thank you.
We're joined here at a distance, a safe social distance, by some of Langwarrin's longest serving fans. They both share the same name. They're not twins, they just have the same name. We'll call them Goat 1 and Goat 2, who you can just see over there. Now, you guys, don't know if you can hear me, but you've never missed a home game. You've been here for many, many years. What did you make of the performance on Saturday? Okay, and Northcote City this weekend, 3 o'clock, Lawton Park, make sure you're there. Any thoughts on this big fixture between two sides with big ambitions in the NPL2 this year? Well, there you have it, folks. A big Saturday coming at Lawton Park, 3 p.m. over on that field just to the right. We'll see you there on Saturday.